guys, welcome back to the Mom Pod. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm
How are
good.
you doing? How's baby life?
Baby life's so good. He's so chunky.
Oh. He started solids.
He started rice cereal and it's a mess.
Really?
It's like, meh, like all over his face.
Zoe has not started yet, but she will pretty soon. And I'm kind of scared because you know how I am with messes.
Oh yeah, you gotta let that shit go.
I'm gonna have to, yeah, that. But then also I feel like, is she gonna like it? Is she gonna eat it? I don't know.
So the first spoonful, Zane was so like, what is this? Because I mixed it with water instead of his formula, and I didn't think to do formula until my mom told me, and it even said on the package, like,
Oh,
you can mix it with water, formula, or breast milk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like, I didn't have a bottle made, and I didn't.
You don't want to waste so much.
Formula's expensive.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like waste it and then like have to like do the math. I don't know. I was being lazy as hell. Let's just be honest. I was being lazy. But yeah, he was like not sure like about it, and then now I mix it with his formula and he enjoys it, but I have to be like over dramatic and be like, so then he opens his mouth, because if he doesn't, he just sits there, and then I'm trying to shove the spoon in his mouth and it's like,
he's like, you didn't make the face.
And it's
I
like,
need the face.
Oh, he spits it out. Tip, feed her in a diaper.
Really?
Because
just a diaper?
it's just gonna get all, I mean, unless you don't care.
No, I'm gonna care. I'm definitely
You're
gonna care.
gonna care. Like, and if you don't put her in a, like, just leave her in her diaper, like, put like a washcloth or something, like tuck it into her neck of her shirt, and then put that silicone bib over, because somehow
Did it still get
it goes down, and then it's crusty
and
and crunchy.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then you don't realize it, and then you're like, go to give him kisses, and he stinks like milk, and it's gross. It's gross. Like, you think you wipe it on, then it's like, they're like, you gotta lift each fold, get it. But you don't have to worry about that with Zoe, because Zoe doesn't have folds.
Aww.
She's not a chubby monkey like
She's
me.
trying so hard to get those folds.
Oh, maybe after the rice cereal.
That's it right there. I think like right after that, she's gonna like bloop. She's gonna blow up super quick. That's what I think, but who knows? People are saying like, oh, she's so skinny. I'm like, my baby is petite. You leave her alone.
Yeah, she's living her life.
Yeah, living her best life, girl. She
She's
eats. She's fine. Oh.
That's the main reason why I'm like, you want to film? You want to film? So I can see Zoe.
I'm not home. It's okay.
It's okay. Me and Zoe can do an episode today. I'll change your diaper and podcast at the same time. Life of a mom, multitasking.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so today's topic is kind of taking it back to the beginning. I was thinking the beginning days, yeah, stressful days. I mean, not that we're not stressed now, but the super stressful days. I was thinking we can talk about the first night home and how that went for you.
Okay. You want to start, or you want me to start?
You start.
Me start. Okay.
I want to hear your story.
Well, I think my biggest thing, so the day we came home, I know we mentioned it like in our like first episode, I think, but we brought Zane home during the middle of the heat wave. And I do remember this because we found out we were coming home. They said like, you're going to be discharged in like 2 hours or so. So we like turned our AC on from our phone, because we have the Nest app. And when we opened the app, it was like 90 degrees in our apartment. And we live, I guess technically on the second floor, but there's a garage and then our apartment. So we live above, so it's hotter because heat rises. And we're like, okay, well, by 2 hours, the apartment should cool down. And no, it was like still 80 degrees. I was so sleep deprived because the whole time I was in the hospital, from the day I got induced up until I left, I think I slept maybe a total of 5 hours.
Oof.
Total. For 5 days, I think I slept. Okay, that's probably exaggerating. I think, I'm not lying.
Really?
I think I slept like a total of like 5 to 8 hours, like, because the whole time I was being induced, I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was uncomfortable. Every 2 minutes, they were flipping me like a pancake. So how could you sleep?
Yeah.
Pao slept.
Oh,
Pao
so
slept.
peaceful.
Pao had his best sleep.
They always do, don't they?
He can't sleep at home in a nice, beautiful, expensive bed.
But why was he
Like, he
still
can
at the
sleep on
hospital?
a goddamn cot. Or their nurses busting in, pumps are beeping, but that's a different story. Yeah, so I just remember it being super hot. And because we didn't anticipate or expect to have the baby as soon as we did, the house wasn't really like come home ready. In a sense, like, I was actually planning on going grocery shopping later that day. Like, after my appointment, we needed groceries. Like, we had nothing.
Oh, wow.
We didn't even have formula or anything for the baby. Because, I mean, I don't know. I thought I was going to breastfeed. Like, I mean, I didn't know anything. And I told my mom, and she's like, okay, well, when you are on your way home, let us know, and we'll bring you food. Thank God. She brought us so much, like, El Pollo Loco, and, like, friends, a couple of days, friends were bringing us food. But
that's so nice.
I remember the first night, it was so hot. My hot flashes were so bad.
Those are the absolute...
It was so bad. And I'm still getting them. Like, they came back with vengeance recently. Like, I didn't have them for a while, and they came back in the past 2 weeks. I'm dying. I'm, like, waking up drenched in sweat. I love that for me. Love it. But, yeah, so I remember my hot flashes were just, like, banging. And then Zane had his circumcision, and we were in, like, the whole time in the hospital, pretty much the nurse kind of was doing it for us because we didn't know how to change a baby's diaper. He was so tiny. And, like, the nurse just came in constantly doing his blood work and things like that. So, like, anytime they were there, they kind of just did everything for us. So, the night home, the first couple hours there, actually, my parents were there. So, my mom was just holding him. Like, I had, like, time to myself. I actually fell asleep on the couch, actually. We watched Mulan when we came home. And I was just knocked out. Stuffed my face and knocked out for, like, an hour. And then they went home after the movie was over. So for, like, a good, like, 2 hours, like, I didn't have the baby. Like, my mom did, and she was tending to him. And, like, they were feeding him, and me and Power kind of just chilling. But then at night, we remembered we were told that because of his jaundice, he has to be fed every 2 hours. Regardless, like, wake him up, feed him. He has to go to the bathroom, like, keep track of dirty diapers, wet diapers, this and that. Because, like, he needed his bilirubin to go down. So we were, like, setting alarms, like, and it was so hard for me to get out of bed because I had an episiotomy. So it was just, like, it's different for you because you had a C-section. Yeah. So, like, we had different pain. Oh, yeah. I had pain down there. You had pain right here. But, yeah, I just remember getting out of bed was difficult. And I was, like, so sleep deprived. And Pao was just a godsend. Pao just was, like, superhuman in, like, the terms of, like, running on no sleep, probably because he slept so damn well in the hospital for 3 days. I don't get it. This boy can't sleep at home, but put him on a cot with a piece of paper for a blanket, and boy was just knocked out.
A piece of paper for a blanket?
Yeah. A cotton ball for a pillow, and he's knocked out. But anyways, yeah, so, like, he would, like, get up and bring the baby to me, because mind you, I was still trying to breastfeed, didn't know how to do it, but we still, like, tried to have him latch, and then we still always wound up feeding him with a bottle. But then it was like, after feeding him, we had to change his diaper. And I didn't know that little boys are sprinklers mixed with, like, I didn't know they didn't know how to regulate their temperature well. And I guess that's why they always needed to be swaddled. Because in my head, I was like, dude, it's like 117 degrees. Like, you don't need to be swaddled. But I guess they don't know how to regulate their temperature. So every time he took his clothes off and then his diaper got peed on. And I was just like, I have a picture. Like, I posted on my story. It was like, first week home with baby. Am I doing this right? And it was like a mound of laundry. I was
I seen that.
Because I was like, this can't be right.
I'm like, I looked at it and I was like, that could be me too.
How am I going through so much laundry? Like, I just remember, like, the first night I got peed on like 5 times. And it was like one diaper change took like 2 to 3 diapers because we had the dirty diaper, then we had the clean diaper, and then when he peed, we put that clean diaper over him instead of just flipping the dirty diaper back on him. Yeah. And then it was like, oh shit, now we gotta get another diaper. And then if he pooped, we didn't know how to wipe his booty with like just 1 or 2 wipes. Like, we graduated. We're at 1 or 2 wipes now. Before it was like handfuls, and it was just like.
It was hard to learn.
The first night was rough. The first couple nights was rough, but I just remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, like, and they were, like, telling you, like, listen for if they're, like, choking because, you know, for 24 hours, they're expelling, like, the amniotic fluid in their lungs and this and that, and, yeah. And then his circumcision, I was worried when it came to changing his diaper, because there was one time, because he got cauterized, so it wasn't, like, the normal way where they, like, they cut it, like, they burned his skin off, basically, which is so sad.
That sounds so horrible.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was really ugly to see, like,
You saw it happen?
Well, that specific doctor didn't let us see. He doesn't like to do it with parents there. Most doctors let you.
Yeah.
Go, but that one didn't want like parents.
I don't blame him.
Which is totally fine. Yeah. He understood. But when we come back, like I guess I never had seen what a circumcised penis freshly done. Like obviously, like why would I be looking at babies? You know. But so when I saw it, I was like, oh my god. Like, why does it look like this?
Yeah.
And then the nurse was like, make sure you get a little 4x4 gauze and you, like, slather it with, like, Vaseline or just something to keep it, like, moist and it won't get stuck to the cloth and then it won't get stuck to the diaper. Well, I think, like, at one time, like, in the transition of putting the diaper over it, it moved the gauze. And when we came to go change the diaper after, it was, like, stuck. Oh. And then it got stuck to where the cautery ring, like, did it on his little penis. Can you say penis on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Can you say that? I don't want to get demonetized.
We'll fix it later. When we get bigger. Beep. On his beep.
Yeah, and I remember, like, carefully trying to, like, pull it off. And I was like, oh my god, it's stuck. And this was, like, the first, like, 24 hours with the baby.
No.
Because we got home at, like, 6 p.m. So I'm counting, like, first night home, I'm counting as 24 hours to the next day. And I was like, oh my god, it's stuck. And we were like, oh my god. And then, like, a couple days later, he had his pediatrician visit, and I brought it up to the pediatrician because it was just like a flap of his skin just hanging. And she was like, oh, that's normal, and she just pulled it off. Are you kidding me?
Did he flinch?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was soggy. Gross. So these are the things, like, you don't have to worry about with a little girl.
Yeah.
But within the first 24 hours, too, again, because his belly room was so high, in that first 24 hours, we had to go get his blood work done. And so my office that we go to, they don't allow visitors, like extra people.
Yeah.
So that even meant Pal couldn't come with me. And I was fresh postpartum.
Oh.
Like, by that point, all the medicine wore off.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring the ibuprofen with me.
Ooh.
I'm carrying this baby car seat. Because I don't know why I didn't think to put him in the stroller. I think because I didn't know how to use my stroller. Or it was just too much trouble to deal with. Honestly, it was...
I feel like I'm feeling your pain right now. Like, ugh.
Yeah, it was wild. I'm, like, carrying the car seat, and I'm, like, waddling, and I'm just, like, everything's just rubbing. Everything's rubbing. Oof. I feel like my insides are about to fall out of me because everything's just, like, opened up. Yeah. It hurt so bad. I was so tired, so sleep deprived. And, like, I walk into the door, I'm like... checking for Zane. Pediatrician. I'm dying. And they're like, okay, take a seat. And I'm like, thanks. And they're like, oh, fill this paperwork out. And I'm like about to sit down. I still have him. I'm still holding him. I'm like, oh, okay. And I don't know why I didn't just set him down. I'm like not thinking. I'm not all there. My body is there, but my mind and my spirit have left the building.
My mind and my spirit?
My mind and my spirit are gone. Okay, it's just my body. I'm just there. And I'm, like, filling out these paperworks, and then I have, like, the diaper bag. Thank God. Pal was laughing at me. He's like, why are you taking the diaper bag with you? And I was like, you never know. Thank God I did, because that boy did a blowout. He peed on me, and I didn't know every pediatrician appointment, they have to be naked.
Yeah.
And I had his blanket. I had everything. I was so prepared. I was so proud of myself. Oh, mainly because I just never unpacked his diaper bag, and everything was already in there, and it was already in the car. Oh. But, yeah, I remember to bring it in with me at least, but... Yeah, so that 24 hours was rough because it was just, like, carrying him, and then we lived upstairs, like you, so oh my god, having to walk up those stairs with your vagina all rocky. Can you say vagina?
I think so.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, why not? I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're, like, saying
with
it,
your
like...
stuff all raw and hurting and bleeding and stitches, and you feel like you have to walk like a sumo wrestler just so nothing touches.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
But the first 24 hours with him, I was petrified.
Yeah.
I was scared I was going to hurt him. I was scared I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared I was going to fall asleep and not hear him. For some reason, I thought he was going to roll over. Why did I think my 3-day-old baby was going to roll over in the middle of the night? Why did I think my baby was going to roll over in the middle of the night and he would suffocate? Is beyond me because boys still don't roll over.
Oh, he's 4 months.
He goes like,
he's trying so
he tries. He has a little big, so it doesn't make it all the way over. But yeah, those were the things that ran through my mind. I was like, he's gonna roll over. He's gonna suffocate. I'm not gonna hear him. I'm gonna starve him. or I'm gonna overfeed him. He's gonna choke on his spit up.
It's so crazy the things that you worry about. That, that when you say it now, like you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? You know.
I will tell you though, whoever said the newborn stage is the hardest is a liar. It's a liar. Their baby didn't go through a 4-month sleep regression. Because honestly, after you get past the first 2 weeks and you're not hurting anymore and you kind of you're figuring it out, it's really not hard. They eat and they sleep and they shit. And then you can do things. You can step away. And now you can't do anything. You can't even go to the bathroom in peace.
Nope.
I can't even take my time washing my hair feeling like, oh yeah, I'm going to get a deep scalp massage. No,
you have to rush it. Yep.
Is he awake?
Yeah, and then
did he spit up?
And then there's those phantom cries. I hear them all the time. I heard one earlier today before you came. I was vacuuming and she was in the room in the car seat sleeping, and I heard go, ah! I'm like, oh fuck, the baby's awake, and she's sleeping. She's knocked out in her car seat.
Yeah,
I hear those all the time, mostly when I'm showering. Of course.
Oh, of course, or when you're trying to take a poop or something.
Oh. Nah, those I enjoy my time. When it's that time of day, that's my me time.
Schedule all my appointments during the toilet.
Yeah, I'm just right there chilling. I hear that cry, Danny, but take it.
Danny, let's you.
Because that's something I'm not trying to rush, you know? I gotta let that out.
Let nature run its course.
That's me.
That's a good turn.
I feel like for my first night was the worst. One of the worst nights. Yeah, because then I'm thinking about another night. It was one of the worst because
you had a C-section.
When I had a C-section, and I remember in the hospital, Danny, we had in the recovery room, not the recovery room, the postpartum room. Danny had his own bed and I had my own bed, so Danny was sleeping in his own bed and he was catching up on his sleep. And
we're so salty.
We're so salty. We were tired.
We don't sleep.
We didn't get any sleep. And I remember I heard her go, and I was like, oh shit. So I stood up and I couldn't get to her because of my C-section. And I was like, dang, I had to yell for him to wake up. And I was like, turn her. And he turned her and was patting her back and it came out.
Oh, she actually had fluid
She had fluid come out. And since that night, and I think that's the first time we had her, I was scared shitless. I was scared shitless. And the next night it happened again. And the only reason why I caught it is, actually, I don't know how I caught it, because she didn't make a noise. She didn't make.
You just saw her struggling?
I felt like I didn't see it, because the bed was low, and she was a little bit higher than my eye level. And the little, what do you call it?
Bassinet?
Yeah, the little bassinet that they have. She was a little higher on my eye level. So I didn't see it, but I felt like I sensed it. And it sounds weird, but I feel like I sensed it. And I told Danny, I was like, can you check her? She's fine. I was like, no, come here, turn her. And he turned her, and he pat her back, and it came out. And that scared me. And I told the doctor came to see us the first morning and the second morning when we were about to leave. He was like, oh, that's normal, that's going to happen. I was like, will she, die? I was like, is she going to die from that? He was like, no, it's just letting out. It's normal, all babies do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Because they're like, don't let them choke.
Yeah.
You keep an ear out.
Yeah, and because I had a C-section, I couldn't get to her as quick as I wanted to, so I was scared. So when we got home around 2-ish, and my mom was already here waiting for us because she wanted to see the baby. So she came. It was my mom and Danny's mom, and did my two sisters come? I don't know if my two sisters came. I don't remember. But they had came over, and they were holding the baby, and I was just on the sofa, just holding myself, in pain, and So they finally left, and we're getting ready for bed. We had the bassinet next to me, and I was bawling. I was bawling my eyes out because I thought my baby was gonna die. I don't know why. I think because at the hospital I made sure Danny had the bathroom light on for me just to make me feel safer that I can see my baby and make sure that she I can see her chest rising.
Yeah.
I didn't have that here, so I opened the blinds, and that's as much light as we got. And I remember I was bawling, and I didn't tell Danny why. I was legit bawling where I couldn't breathe. I was that bawling. So I was so scared. Gosh. Yeah. Because I didn't have a nurse who would come in and check. I couldn't see if her chest was rising.
If something happened, you had to drive all the way to the hospital.
And then I couldn't, if something were to happen and she's right next to me, I cannot get up. The quickest I can get up is like this. I couldn't get up quick enough to get to her if something were to happen.
Yeah.
So that first night I was scared shitless. I really was. You know, and when it was time to feed her in the middle of the night, we used our closet light to see. And it was still dark. So it was just like, it was the worst.
All bad.
It was all bad. And then the next morning we had a doctor's appointment for her. We took her to our pediatrician. You know, like you said, they have to be naked.
Was Danny able to go with you?
Oh, luckily, yes. Thank God.
They wouldn't let Pal come with me until the third day in a row they recognized me. And they were like, he can come with you this time. And I'm like, thanks. After I'm already fucking raw.
Really?
Road rash down there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was like they realized, like, oh, hey, this girl looks familiar. Because I kept coming at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he's so little. He's new. And I'm like, yeah.
It was just
like, and then she was like, Dad can come with you. And I'm like, oh, thanks. The first day would have been nice.
No, luckily he was able to, because I wouldn't have been able to carry shit.
Yeah, well, you're a C-section too. If I was a C-section, I would have been like, he's coming with you. Because you're technically not allowed to
lift anything.
It's too heavy with the car seat.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wasn't going to go by myself whether they told me to come in. Like, there's times today, but there's like, for her last appointment, they call me like to verify, do you have a temperature, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, they always tell me only one person is allowed. He comes with me still. I make sure, because he wants to go. He missed out on so much of the pregnancy. I would hate for him to miss out on, like, the doctor appointments. You know, it's like the little things that I want to be able to involve him in, you know? So I still let him come either way. They don't tell me anything, you know, or they haven't yet. I'm waiting for them to tell me something.
They let Pal come to, like, one of his appointments, like an actual pediatrician appointment. Mm-hmm. But it was only up until their 2 months. And that was literally the last appointment, and then the next appointment was 2 months. Mm-hmm. So it was like...
What was the point?
Yeah, so Pal misses out on a lot, which makes me sad.
It is. And I
but once COVID's over, I'll be like, you're coming. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm sure he probably feels sad about it too. Yeah. He wants to be able
Sometimes to I ask him, like, well, do you want to take him to this appointment? He's like, you already established a relationship with the pediatrician. You guys know what you talked about last. And he's like, I wouldn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's true.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah.
I kind of like going because I need to know. I'm like,
yes.
I don't like hearing important information like that from second party.
Yeah, because also there'll be a question I have, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Like, oh, fuck, I should have gone, you know? But luckily we haven't been put in that situation where it's only one of us. Luckily both of us are able to go. But that first appointment, we both went, and we had to take her because of her weight. She wasn't gaining weight.
Yeah.
And
she's so little.
Yeah.
But she's just a petite little thing.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, well, I mean, I'm not complaining. I think she's so adorable because she's my baby. But I don't know.
Feeding her that fat-free breast milk.
Yeah, I'll sell
Give her
it
some
to you.
heavy cream.
That first appointment, you know, you undress them to get weighed, and we undressed her. Danny put her on the scale, and I grab her, and I'm holding her. Her little butt's on my arm, and she pees all over me. It falls. Legit, my sweater is drenched in pee. On my pants, it drips onto my pants, and it's all over the floor. And I'm just like, oh my! And I was like this. She peed all over me. And I was like, what the fuck? And then
did you bring extra clothes?
Yeah. Luckily, we did.
For yourself?
No, for myself, no. Yeah. I was like, no, yeah, we brought her extra clothes. But she didn't have clothes on. This little girl. But no, I walked out full of pee. We came home. I changed. I was like, oh fuck, you know? Yeah. But for the first 24 hours, Danny was such a big help because I wasn't able to do shit.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
It's hard.
It was hard. The hardest part was getting out of bed.
Yeah, literally. It's so hard. Especially if you have a big bed and then you're kind of high off the ground. Oh my God. I remember I was like laying like, obviously like normal, but I'm in the middle of the bed. And when I got out of bed, I was like trying to scoot sideways out. And it was like, my legs are like this, like one leg and then the next. And when I split my legs open, I thought I ripped my stitch. I was like, I like did it too fast, too aggressive, I think, because Zane just like started screaming out of nowhere. Oh. And I was like, oh my God. And Pal was like, I don't know what he was doing. I think he was like eating or something. And I like swung my leg out of bed and I was like, I was like, I think I ripped. And he's like, what? And I was like, my stitch. And he's like, do you want me to check? I was like, no.
Oh, really?
Stop.
Let me tell you something.
But then I was like, yeah, check it. And
there was times where I told them, I was like, when I was pregnant, I was like, you need to check out there because I don't know what's happening.
I don't even know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
My fiance, he's a nurse, so it's totally fine. We see butt, boobs, vagina, penis, balls.
My husband's a real estate agent. It's fine.
He just walks in on people.
He's like, hey guys.
But I think it's safe to say the first 24 hours with the newborn as a new mother, it's probably the most stressful.
It was the scariest for me.
It's very scary. Yeah. I remember the first time we hadn't even brought him home. It was the day we were bringing him home, and maybe I was like psyching myself out, but Pal went to change his diaper. We're in our recovery room, and Zane screaming his head off. Zane, for the longest time, hated diaper changes because he didn't like being undressed. He didn't like being cold, obviously. I didn't know that, but I didn't know that was a thing. And he's screaming his head off, and I don't know if I was stressed out at the fact I'm like, oh my god, we're going home in 3 hours or 2 hours, like, what's going on? I had to lock myself into the bathroom, and I was crying. And I felt so bad because I was yelling at Pal, like, change him faster, hurry up, like, stop, like, make him stop. I still feel so bad for how much, I probably put a lot of pressure and stress on Pal, and he'll never say to this, he'll never tell me that, like, I did that to him, because he knows, like, what I was going through, like, mentally as a mother.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I feel so bad sometimes when I think back, like, oh my god, I was yelling at him from a locked bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, hurry up, change his diaper, he's crying. And then I'm in there like, ah, like bawling my eyes out. Because I'm just like, I think that first 24 hours was more traumatic to me than I just feel bad for Pal because he'll never tell me that I'm being psycho. He'll never
and I love that. I love that because it's such a, like, I feel like that's the way they love us, I guess you can say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because, they know better. I think it's more like they know better than to say something because they're like, oh, you want to call me psycho? I'll show you psycho.
For real.
But I feel so bad to this day, like, still, like, probably, like, the first, like, 2-3 weeks on top of, like, clearly the hormones are still hitting and the hot flashes. But, yeah, like, I feel so bad. Like, if I could apologize and, like, take it back for how I treated him, then I would. But he still says he wants more baby, so I guess it wasn't that bad.
I guess he loved it.
I guess it wasn't that bad.
He's like, oh, she being feisty today.
Ooh, that's Spanish coming out. She's spicy.
Let's try this a few more times.
Stop.
Oh, my God. That's a good one.
Oh, my gosh.
Good story. I didn't know that.
Poor Pal. The engagement was forced. So you're gonna get down on one knee.
The butter knife.
You're gonna breast bump.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh. Okay, let me compose.
That was
okay, I don't know why I cried. I think I just got sad thinking about how crazy I treated him because you can't handle it. You can't control how you feel sometimes, you know. Clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt bad. Yelling at him from a fucking locked bathroom. What a psycho lady. We haven't even left the.
But you know,
we haven't even left the hospital.
I feel like when it comes to that, because we have gone through so much, I feel like they were like, we got this, you know, like, I got this.
And I was, you know, I still apologize to him sometimes when I'm being crazy, and he's like, it's okay. Yeah. He's like, I know you don't mean it.
He goes, you know what, you've always been this crazy, but right now it's coming out.
You've always been crazy. What you apologizing now for?
Yeah, that's it. He's probably gonna watch this like, oh my gosh.
You know, he watches every single one of our episodes.
Oh, he does?
Even his mom and his brothers watch it. In the Philippines.
I think I see,
they repost us.
Yeah, I see them.
Philippines love.
I'm like, where's my family at? Catch up. No, just kidding.
It's so sweet. His mom always calls and she's like, it was a good episode.
Oh,
she's like, you girls are so pretty.
She's now I know. Now I need to keep her in mind when I get ready. I'll be like this.
This is for the Philippines.
My mama Paul's watching me. Oh, that's a good one. Well, this is a good topic. And I think it was a good one because I feel like not a lot of moms or new moms will know how scary it is. Like I knew I was gonna be scared when I got home, but I didn't realize I was gonna bawl my eyes out because
bawl your ass out. That too.
I didn't know I was gonna bawl my eyes out because I thought my baby was gonna die. You know, I didn't know I was gonna do that, but.
It is kind of scary to think that you just get sent home with the baby.
It's so scary.
And they like give you all this information, but you're so sleep deprived.
I feel like they need to send you home with home health.
They need to send you the packet before a baby comes.
Yes,
they need to send you the how to, like all the things that they tell you literally right after you push the baby.
I don't remember anything. Oh, I don't remember anything they told me. Like
I don't remember anything either.
Yeah, Danny had to do everything.
And all that legal paperwork that you have to fill out, and she's telling you like, I had to do it because random side story, but Pal went to go get food, I think, for us. And the lady, the registration, and Zane was getting his circumcision. Mm-hmm. So I was by myself. I didn't even have the baby to look at to be like, did you get any of that? Because I was about to go to the bathroom, and the registration lady comes in, and she's like, oh, here, this is your paperwork for the Social Security, this is the paper for your birth certificate, and this is for this, and this is for that, and you need to pay this and send it to this, but don't send it to this, and I'm like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Pal comes in, he's like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, oh, this is the paperwork.
Go through it, please.
And then, like, he's like, what'd they say? And I was like, something about... And he's like, what do you mean something about? And I was like, well, one's for his Social Security, one's for his birth certificate, and then we have to pay this money and send it here, and we have to get something notarized. I literally said it like, he's like... And I was like, why would they come in?
I don't understand that.
And I even asked, I was like, can you come back when Paolo comes back? Because I don't even remember my own name at this point, you know? She's like, oh, I'm really busy. Like, you're on... She's like, I don't want to push it because we have to get these things done because these things need to be done at a certain time. And I was like, oh, okay.
She told you that?
Yeah.
What an asshole.
And then literally, like, 3 hours later, she comes back in the room. She's like, did you fill out the birth certificate paper? And I was like,
oh.
Which one is it again? And she's like... And of course, Pao had, like, left to go somewhere. I don't know where he left. And I was like, okay. And I'm, like, filling it out. And I was like, and then, like, she comes back and she's like, okay, is this right? Da-da-da. And I was like, yeah. And I thought she sends it out. But then we have to send it out. And, you know, it's a long story. We sent it to the wrong place, paid the wrong thing, got the wrong thing. We got the right thing notarized, but sent it to the wrong address. The nurse got sent to the wrong address, and we had to get a new birth certificate. The nurse finally came, and he's 4 months old.
The nurse is like, I remember this girl. I was trying to tell her what to do. She was not paying attention.
She's like, mothers. First mothers.
But it's true. Why did they come in after we had this baby? Like, I don't remember anything. Luckily, Danny couldn't go anywhere, so he was stuck there with me.
Yeah, the only thing Pop could do was leave to get food, and that was it.
Oh, really? No, he couldn't do that, luckily, because I feel like I wouldn't know what to do if he left, to be honest. I would have felt so alone. But the nurse came in and gave everything to Danny. When I go home, I was like, what is this for? He was like, it's for this. I'm like, what? He was like, it's for this. I'm like, I don't know. You fill it out. Yeah. I was like, here, you do what you gotta do. I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah, that's the most annoying thing. Pro tip, when you're having your baby, when you're in postpartum the next day, during regular business hours, make sure your partner's there.
Yes.
Because when they tell you as the mother, you don't know what the hell's going on.
You're not going to remember. As much as you think you will, you won't.
No, and my mind was so preoccupied because Zane was getting his circumcision. I was like, oh, I wonder when he's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm never going to see my baby.
Yeah.
Is he doing okay? Is he going to be crying? I was thinking of all these things while she's telling me all this important, important stuff. And I'm just like, yeah. Okay.
She's like, oh my god, what's wrong with this girl?
She's like, oh, I like her. She's got it. I should have wrote this down. She's like giving me this package, like, and this is for your mental health. And this is postpartum, and this is this and this. If anything happens with the baby, this. I'm like, and in my head's like, oh, I miss Zane.
Oh.
For lunch.
Oh my god.
I have coffee now.
Yeah, that was. You know what? Though I'm not. Did you have coffee during your pregnancy?
I wanted to, but the smell made me so nauseous.
Oh,
I couldn't even. Yeah, I wanted to.
I had coffee every day.
I wanted to. I needed it, but I couldn't have it. It made me sick. Anyways. Well, those were our bringing baby home stories.
Yeah. It was
wild. Clearly it's still emotional for me. I didn't realize.
It can be very scarring. It
really does test your relationship.
Yeah.
And if you thought you had patience prior to a baby, you learn a whole new level of patience. And if you're someone like me who never had patience, I never had patience. And somehow I don't know how I've done it because sometimes I'm so impatient with Zane. Or sometimes I'm so impatient with Pao because I've given all my patience to Zane. Poor guy. Poor Pao. He gets the bad end of the stick.
Aww.
Every short
end. He accepts it with a smile.
He does. He's like,
aww.
But yeah, first 24 hours, wild. I'd like to know if you guys have any crazy 24-hour stories. If you do, leave them in the comments below because we do get a few people that comment here and there.
But I want to hear the stories. I want to hear the juicy stories.
I want some engagement so we can kind of like go through and like.
And me, like a cheese man, I just want to hear the stories.
I'm like, I want engagement. I want to get to know you guys. She's like, I want the cheese man. But yeah, let us know in the comments below if you guys have had any crazy or just like in general. Did you have a good night, a bad night, first 24 hours? Did you?
If you had a good night,
did you lock
please let me
yourself
know
in the
how
bathroom like I did?
I want to hear the good stories because I want to know like there's actually like maybe my next pregnancy or my next delivery would be way better.
Maybe, hopefully.
Oh.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications.
Yes.
And follow us on our Instagrams at @the_mompod and our personal handles. And
yes.
yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you later.
Bye.